Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about I still believe James Gunn has no earthly idea what the freak nuts he is doing when it comes to the DCU. I know I always sound negative towards James Gunn, but then like I said before, I really don't respect him, and it's all because of the pedophile jokes type stuff, you know what I'm saying? I just don't understand how a grown man can make jokes like that. Other than that, I don't have no other problem with him. And I do own some of his movies and stuff. Like, I own the Scooby-Doo movies, which he wrote. And I own his Suicide Squad, which he directed and stuff. But as for the Guardian movies, I just don't like, and I don't like Superman. But ever since he taken over DCU, I did hold out hopes that maybe he could cook. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, a lot of people like him. There are the Guardian movies and stuff. And, like, why not? But then, like, it's just some of the projects in which he started to, like, name with his whole God and Monsters things is one of those things that, like, I started to question. Like, the movies and projects he greenlit it, I was just like, why this? And the fact that he kept his Peacemaker show was just kind of odd, but canceling everything else. And so, like, I still held out hope. I'm kind of like, okay, Creature Commandos, I know who they are. That would be neat. I don't understand why we all need a project with them. But then it was going to be like some kind of animated thing. So I'm like, cool. But then he went for, like, I guess the newer version of Creature Commandos instead of the classic, which I do like the art style. I have not watched the actual show because I just feel like it's pointless. I deep down inside, I feel like I don't have to watch this in order to understand the Superman movie. And I didn't. You can watch Superman all on its own and it could be just like that. Like, you really don't need Creature Commandos to understand it. Especially now, since, I guess, I haven't seen it, but there was like this version, I guess, like a Batman in there, and Superman's dead, and there's a Clayface in that's now is supposed to be the live action version that we're getting now, and so, whatever. I am kind of curious now, and I kind of do want to watch that Creature Commando show, but for now, I'm still not watching it. I didn't like his Superman movie, and I think his Supergirl movie was just okay. Just okay, and that's it. Like, oh my God, those are not shorts. Sorry, I'm looking out the window. Oh, Lord, what the heck is this woman wearing? They make shorts totally. That looks like underwear, and she's been. Oh, anyway. Anyway, I guess that's what I get for looking out the window. Now I forgot my thought. But I liked how Supergirl had an A, B, C structure instead of just randomly doing stuff, But here's my thing about James Gunn, and the reason why I'm making this video is what is exactly his end game? What is his plan? What is gonna happen in the DCU? So far, it just seems like a bunch of random stuff. But then things that could be interesting, he's nixing, and other things that seem pointless, he's keeping and everything. He seems to be very fixated on Superman for right now. And because we're already getting the sequel to the first Superman movie, and we already got a Supergirl movie, but yet we still have no Batman, we have no Wonder Woman, and we have no Justice League. But then out of the Superman project, he's making a Jimmy Olsen television show, which I still find baffling and as to why. Who the heck asked for that? Not one stinking person asked for that show. And yet he is still making it because that's just something he wants to do and everything. And somebody pitched him the Clayface movie as a horror movie, so he's like, sure, why not? And the trailers look good. But now people are asking, how is this Clayface the exact same one from Creature Commandos? You know? And then you have the Lantern thing, which originally that was not his project. Oh, by the way, he didn't direct Supergirl. He greenlit it. He liked the comic and stuff like that. But anyway, Green Lantern originally was not his thing. Somebody pitched it, he ran with it, and then he incorporated it into the DCU instead of making it an Elseworld like he said originally he was going to do with other projects and stuff. And so now we're going to have, which is going to come out this Sunday, a completely different type of lanterns than the Green Lantern he has created for his Superman franchise. Now these Green Lanterns all got different rings and stuff like that. So it's like he has to figure out a way how to truly incorporate that into that. Which means who's ever going to play, Aaron Pierre is going to be our Jon Stewart whenever we do get that a Justice League type movie. I don't know how Aaron Pierre acts. What if he can't cut the mustard? Like, what if, because he wants an older Batman for some reason, but he has a younger Superman and all this other stuff. And now this leads me to the actual video that I wanted to make. We now just found out that Penguin 2 is in limbo, but that's an Elseworld thing. There was somebody pitched a Catwoman solo series from Matt Reeves' Batman, and that got axed. Somebody wanted a Poison Ivy show, and he axed that. The Amazon Themyscira type show without Wonder Woman has just now got axed, which that was originally, I believe, his project. His Amanda Waller show that he pitched has now been axed and everything. And it's just like, what are you doing, man? Like, what was it about these projects that weren't good enough that, like, you're axing, but you think Jimmy Olsen is the bee's knees to everything to where you want to have that out and everything? Now, granted, I could care less about an Amazon show without Wonder Woman, but people do love Amazons. I remember I loved them from Hercules and Xena, so they work, you know what I'm saying? And not only that, but like, the Amanda Waller thing would have tied into his Peacemaker thing and his Suicide Squad movie that he created, but for whatever reason, he just doesn't want it. Now, he does say he's going to create a Mr. Terrific show, but let's see if that actually happens. And, that Black Superman movie got axed and everything. And it's just kind of like, Catwoman could have worked. So what the heck happened in the pitch that made him say no? Because Catwoman can work as either a villain or an anti-hero or a hero. And everybody likes this version of Catwoman. So what the world was so bad about the pitch that he said no? Now, it could be the merger. You have to keep that in mind. It could be the merger. Because of the simple fact, if this whole merger happens, Ellis might not want these projects and everything, But why would Ellis want this Jimmy Olsen show? Why can't that get axed with the whole merger thing, And then let's not forget, there's supposed to be a dynamic duo puppet movie of all things. And I just don't know this man's thought process. I really don't. He is clearly no Kevin Feige and everything. It's just whatever random thing pops in his head or pops in somebody else's head, he'll say yes to, but then later on, for whatever reason, will axe. Now, he did say if the script ain't good enough, he won't go forward with it. Well, the script for Supergirl wasn't all that great, but then he went for that and everything. And his Jimmy Olsen show, well, he's, of course, probably going to write the script to that, so, of course, he's going to love that. But, like, oh, and I left out another thing. Sergeant Rock, Senior, or whatever. He was supposed to have that television show, which nobody asked for. And, like, he axed that. There's supposed to be a Swamp Thing show, which who knows if that's going to happen. But is Swamp Thing really going to tie into his greater picture of the DCU? He's reminding me of Crypto. Crypto, his version of Crypto, that bounces around, tears everything up, acts kooky, acts crazy, and then poses to see if you're staring at him acting kooky and crazy. Like, I feel like that's his thought process. And I don't see really the DCU lasting long. And it's weird to say because it's just now getting started, but I don't see it lasting long. He has no Batman. He has no Wonder Woman. He has no Justice League. But yet he's creating all this other dumb stuff that nobody wants or even asks for. That's not a person at the top. He's more of a creative person who's in the middle, who's pitching ideas. They need to get somebody new, in my opinion, to run the DCU. Because clearly James Gunn's mind is just too scattered, in my opinion. We get told we're going to have these projects, then these projects get axed. And then, months go by, you don't hear nothing from them. Oh, they got axed. But then yet we getting a Jimmy freaking Olsen show. What in the world is so important about this Jimmy Olsen show that Catwoman's not important enough? And then, even though that whole Amazon show without Wonder Woman would have been dumb, at least it would have introduced this version of Wonder Woman. We would have known what to expect. And then when he does start to introduce the bigger hitters and everything, is he going to rush that? We don't need another DCEU where everything's rushed and everything. I don't think he is the person everybody led him to believe he is. I don't think he's the man. I don't think he can cook. And I don't think he can lead a project because he's not leadership material. He's not. He's not the captain of a football team. He's just simply not. James Gunn is the co-head of the DC Warner Brothers division, but somebody needs to sit his behind down and get him focused and tell him, hey, look, you don't have no time to play. I get it. You like certain comic book characters that people don't. But this ain't about you, and this ain't about the hardcore fan base. You need something that is going to appeal to everybody else and compete with that of Marvel. You are going to have to bring out your heavy hitters. You are going to have to cast people that people are either like or are like not well known, but can cut the mustard in terms of acting. You can't do what you did back in the MCU. All right, that's not going to work twice. Lightning's not going to strike twice. Look at Kevin Feige. When he started the MCU, he literally took piss, turned it into lemonade, and then turned it into liquid gold. He was forced to work with people, characters that is, that weren't doing so hot in the comic book scene. But now he has made them household names where everybody wants to be them. He had no choice because of what Marvel went bankrupt. Now he has all his players, well, except for the Hulk for the most part and Spider-Man, but he is able still to make them work for the most part. Sometimes, not always, but for the most part. This doesn't make no sense because James Gunn has all his cards in the deck, but yet he's not playing with them because James Gunn, and I also believe this, is kind of treating these characters like they're him. Like Jimmy Olsen. I truly believe growing up, James Gunn was that awkward, weird person. The outsider who could never fit in. So now he's all like, oh, well, since I'm the man, I'm going to make these outside characters fit in and you're going to like them. I did it with the Guardians. I did it with Peacemaker, and I'm going to do it with all these other characters. It's getting to the point where fans all like, screw you, we don't want that and everything. But yet he is still trying to make that happen. It's not gonna work. Marvel is about to bust out one of their biggest villains that people have been asking for, and he's giving us Jimmy Olsen. He has to compete with his former company, but he's acting like he's scared. He's acting like Jimmy Olsen and Superman gonna be the ones to make him rise to the top. Superman, maybe, yes. Jimmy Olsen, no. And all these other people he had in mind, like Sergeant Rock and Creature Commandos and like whatever the puppet, like Boy Wonders and stuff, that is not gonna make him succeed to the top over Marvel. Even in Marvel's worst days, they will still succeed over that of the DCU. They've had their hiccups, like with Secret Invasion, but still look at them. They're still in the playing field. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.